Hi everyone, Megan and Steve with Hustling for Excellence. Welcome to our channel. Be sure to like and subscribe and click the bell below so you are notified every time we post great content. Today we're here to talk to you about responsibility. Responsibility for your decisions, your reactions, the actions that you take, and in general just the responsibility of everything that happens in your life, because it is in fact your responsibility and no one else's.
Yeah, absolutely. We were just talking about this earlier, and I was, thinking about people who complain a lot, and it's just, God, it's just a negative spiral of nonsense. And if you get them around other complainers, it just is like it's horrible.
Misery loves company.
Yeah, I try to get myself out of those situations because, I feel like I'm that lone voice sometimes where I'm like, I don't know what you guys are complaining about. Just go do something. But whatever it is, it's like, well, I can't do this because I work a good job, or I have responsibilities, or I volunteer here, or I do this, and it's like hemming and hawing about everything, and I'm just like, okay, well then don't do those things, right? Or quit, or if this is not what you want to do, then go do what it is you really want to do. I mean, it's kind
And
of
everyone will give you 1,000 excuses as why, oh, I can't do that. It's not that easy. But the fact is, it really is.
I mean, it's easy. I think it's easy to make the decision, or say you're going to do it. But I see the problem is people they just never do it. Right? I think a lot of it, as we talked about previously, is having a plan too. I mean, I'm not saying willy nilly just go ahead and go into your boss's office and be like, I quit. I mean, maybe that works for some people, right? But I'm like, I really believe if you sit down and think about this, you can solve what you call a problem. I mean, it might take a little creative thinking, it might take a little bit of planning, but if it's truly something you want to do, you could do it, right? And I think it's great. It's actually liberating and freeing when you make that decision to go ahead and do the thing you want to do, right? Again, people will try to talk you out of it, is what I find. When I tell people I'm going to retire from this or do that because I'm pursuing something else, it's kind of like, oh, well, if you stay a couple more years, you might be able to do this. Or if you stay, I'm just not interested. That's not what I want to do. I've made my decision. I understand the consequences, that I may, get less in retirement from this company, or I may get less benefits here. But I mean, for me, it's about getting time back and getting freedom back and different things and pursuing other opportunities. So I'm not looking at it as a loss. It's a gain. But again, yes, that's my decision. I made it.
And it's something we take responsibility for, because
Right.
the fact is, when you start taking responsibility, those problems are no longer problems, they're opportunities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Very well said. I just can't stand. I mean, we all complain. We all say something, but I mean, I think real quick, like folks who are aware of it, they snap out of it quick and like, what am I talking about? That's not a quick complaining, right? People, it's nuts. I mean, so yeah, it's one of those things that just drives us kind of crazy, because we have a lot of folks in our lives that do complain and tell us all the reasons why they can't do something. And, if they would have just taken that 10, 15 minutes while they sat there and told us why they couldn't do something, they could have went out and went on that walk and got some exercise, or picked up a book and got a little, knowledge or relaxation or whatever it is they were looking for. But it's just like, I think they like to just hear themselves complain and kind of justify to themselves why they can't do something.
And it's very much a cultural thing. I'm not sure what it is about America, whether we've just become weak over, generations or whatnot, but it's almost this entitlement thing that, we complain a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't see that in some other countries. And there is no complaining. They just do what they have to do and they get it done, even if they don't enjoy it.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is too, I've been around the world and seen a lot of different countries. It's, they have to survive. It was kind of like, I hear stories about when grandparents and things immigrated to this country. I mean, as soon as they got here, they went to work, and they worked shitty jobs, right? In the mines and in factories where there was no OSHA or any of those type of organizations around at that time, or no unions to protect them or those type of things. So, I mean, they just had to survive. They had large families, and all they did was work. That was it. There was no enjoyment. There was no, vacations or fancy meals or, like today happens to be Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. But it's like, those things weren't celebrated, right? It was just kind of like, it was just another day to work. You didn't stop and go out for dinners, and all those things. I mean, but now it's like everybody complains about something. I mean, complaining, talking to somebody and complaining about how they may not have any money or whatever, but they're doing it on their, iPhone 12 or whatever the heck the newest iPhone is. I'm like, are you crazy? Do you not understand this? Like, you're talking about, complaining about lack of funds, but you're doing it on your brand new iPhone while you're standing in your, $300 Jordans and whatever, it's like, I don't know. I think sometimes people just, I don't know why they don't see it, but it's nuts.
So, point is, take responsibility. Realize that every decision you make, you're making a decision and you're leaving something else behind and you're choosing to move forward in a different direction. And whether that turns out to be good or bad, take responsibility for it. There's no point in complaining, because complaining is just wasting energy when you could be focusing that energy in, if you feel that the decision didn't work out well for you, okay, start moving in another direction. Don't waste your time complaining. And then also the responsibility goes to reaction as well as to what's happening around you. It doesn't matter what's going on around you. You get to choose and you take responsibility for those reactions. So leave us a comment. Let us know what you think, how you're taking responsibility for your actions, and we will see you in our next video.